Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. Can I get your name and title, please?
Noe Torres, and I'm a UFO researcher and author here in South Texas.
Amazing turnout here tonight. Is the valley and the border a hotbed of UFO activity?
Yes, actually, we are a hotbed of UFO activity. The area from all the way from Laredo over to Corpus and on south to McAllen and Brownsville has been an area of intense UFO activity for the past few years. We don't know if there's any correlation with any specific events going on worldwide or locally. The only thing we know is that people are reporting UFO sightings at a record number. They're also reporting seeing strange entities, encountering beings, and groups like the Laredo Paranormal Research Society, which is here tonight, have been doing a great job of chronicling and documenting the sightings and presenting information about it like they're doing at tonight's session.
Is there a possibility that these things that we're seeing in the sky are military, border patrol, drones, any other type of aircraft?
Okay, one of the things that we do as UFO researchers, and I belong to an organization called the Mutual UFO Network, or MUFON, which a lot of people are familiar with. One of the main things that we do is we rule out all conventional explanations, possible conventional explanations, prior to signifying something as being a true unidentified. So we'll go through, we'll talk to the witnesses, we'll look at the documented information about a sighting, and we'll make sure that we've ruled out the possibility of any conventional aircraft. We have groups of experts in MUFON who can readily knock out anything that would be considered an ordinary explanation. And only after it's gone through this layer of investigation and we've removed the possibility that it's anything that can be easily explained, only then do we call something unidentified. So really, it's a multi-layered approach to investigating. It's not just so-and-so saw something in the sky, it must have been aliens from outer space. It doesn't work that way. I mean, it takes an intensive amount of investigating and research and talking to witnesses before something gets labeled as being unidentified.
Okay. And what are some of the things you've had to rule out? Were there some people who reported things and you've actually personally had to rule out? What did they ended up being?
Over 90% of UFO sightings do have conventional explanations, ranging from weather phenomena such as clouds or lightning, ball lightning, things like this, to astronomical objects. It could be planets, it could be stars that are misidentified, that due to atmospheric conditions appear to be closer than they really are, or appear to have an odd tinge or brightness to them. A lot of the sightings are aircraft, both regular commercial aircraft as well as military aircraft, some of which a lot of the public has not been exposed to. For example, experimental aircraft or aircraft designs that at the present time are being kept secret from the general public. There are a lot of UFO sightings that can be accounted as being secret military aircraft, especially when they tend to occur over or near some military bases that are known to be testing those types of aircraft.
Like the one in Kingsville?
Well, we don't know specifically that Kingsville is doing a lot of testing, but certainly, like, for example, Area 51 and some of the areas up country that we know are well known for researching new aircraft.
Well, we've got Mexican military helicopters, border patrol, and these new drones. Are these drones and military aircraft being confused?
Yes, drones are often, and other types of aircraft are often confused, or people report them as being unidentified because they don't know what they are. But the drones, if you look at them carefully and if you study, for example, you study their method of propulsion and what they look like in the sky and so forth, they don't have the characteristics that a lot of people report in true UFO sightings. For example, they don't travel at speeds over 2,000 miles an hour. They don't execute 90-degree angle turns on a dime. They don't have these strange arrays of lights and exhibit a non-conventional ballistic movement in the sky. They don't streak from being within eye level to going completely out of sight in 1 or 2 seconds. these sorts of characteristics that tend to define most true UFO cases, you don't see that in conventional aircraft, drones or helicopters or anything like that. Most people are familiar with conventional aircraft, at least in a general sense. They see them in the skies regularly, so it's not something that you can easily confuse the two. But of course, there are always people who do report whatever they see in the sky as being a strange object, even when it's not really that.
How many legit UFO cases would you say there are here in the valley?
Well, this is an interesting thing, and I opened up my session tonight by telling people in the audience that every time that I speak about UFOs, I have a long line of people afterward coming to see me to tell me of their own stories. Almost everybody I talk to has had an experience themselves, or somebody in their family or a close acquaintance has had an up-close and personal UFO experience. So I would have to say that a large majority of people in the valley have had UFO encounters, but they don't make them public. The Hispanic people here in South Texas, in my opinion, we're kind of private in terms of paranormal events. We kind of keep these to ourselves.
The MUFON documented case numbers, how many would you say there are? A dozen, 2 dozen over the decades?
No, there are literally hundreds of cases reported in South Texas in a year to MUFON, and that's just reported to MUFON. You got to remember that people have to take the time and the effort to file a report. It takes, considerable time and effort. So we're thinking that's only the tip of the iceberg. Most of the people that I talk to on a one-to-one basis, like when I speak, they tell me that they've never told anybody about it, only close relatives. Because like I say, we tend to keep these things to ourselves.